so the Violet Flame book for alchemy of for personal change. This is a really good book. I think it's one of the first books that I read, being on the path as a keeper of the flame. So it's really interesting, and it's good to actually reference back to it now. Uh, it's been a couple of years since I read it. But yeah, when you come to, like we were talking about, the heart, head, and hand decree 1.30, it's a really good decree that has, I think, 10 parts to it. Has about 10 parts to it. It's 10 decrees in that decree, so to speak. So I'm reading from this page, is on page 200 of this book. Where Elizabeth Clare Prophet was talking about this decree. She says, I believe that the heart, head, and hand decrees are some of the most important decrees for us to give every day. They are the shortest means of touching every major step we need to take on the path of uniting with our higher self, eventually ascending and earning our eternal freedom. So that's really a profound statement if you think about it. Although I also think that it's not as simple as that, right? But it's something that is a necessary ingredient, decree to give as we make our journey towards our ascension. And she further on went to say that going through the heart and head and hand decrees enables the individual to enables you to tie into your 7 chakras, turning them up and reinforcing the light within them. So it's a really, I give the decree. I appreciate the giving of the decrees, because it touches every, like she says, it touches every single chakra, all the 7 chakras. And I believe the heart, head, and hand decrees, the first 3 of the decree 1.30, represents the threefold flame that is in the heart, right? So I definitely would recommend, if anyone wants to give this decree, that they actually also have to focus within the heart, which is where it actually starts. The first part of the decree is violet fire, that love divine, blaze within this heart of mine. So it starts from the heart and then goes to the hand, goes to the head, and then the hand, and then the rest of the other chakras. So, yeah.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I think also one of the things I would like to share with the audience as well is one last aspect. I think it's the third chapter, the third paragraph on this page. It says, these decrees are foundational. They establish the base point for our day, right? So it's something that I would say first thing in the morning, or whenever before the day starts, for anyone to give these decrees. It's almost more like turning on all the cylinders, firing on all cylinders, because it touches, like you say, it touches all the chakras. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. So it inspires you and gives you more energy to start your day and starts transmuting the karma that might come down that day.
Correct. Correct. It helps to transmute the karma, and also it bring in more light. At least I feel, the light that comes into the different chakras when I give this decree. So it's a really good decree to start with. Visualization also is a good key for giving this decree. Being able to visualize the threefold flame in the heart, the violet flame in the heart, and in the different chakras as you give the decree. Yeah.
What's a threefold flame?
The threefold flame is the spark of God, the God spark within our heart, and it's a flame that consists of the three plumes that springs up from the white fire core in your heart, and it's the blue flame, the of power, of God power, and the yellow flame of wisdom, and the pink flame of love. So God power, God wisdom, and God love. That makes up the three plumes. So it's blue, yellow, and pink, the flame.
And is that connected with our ascension?
So in terms of what we talked about here in this chapter about being a one of the shortest means of touching every major step we need to take on a path, uniting with our higher self and eventually ascending. So the heart, head, and hand is represents the part of the threefold flame, which is we need to balance that as we give this decree. And the balancing of our threefold flame is one of the criteria that we need to satisfy before we can make our ascension. So a balanced threefold flame is so, which is also one of the things for me, at least, I think makes this decree an important decree because you start with that, the heart, the head. So the heart is the love, and the head is the wisdom, the yellow plume, and the hand is the blue, which is the will of God. So if you go through that decree, you notice from giving it that the heart obviously is for the pink plume of the threefold flame, and then the head is for the blue for the yellow plume, which is for the wisdom, and then the hand is for the blue plume, which is for the power of God. So it helps to balance that threefold flame. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard that power is also action is part of power. So the
Correct.
hand doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's right. The hand is also part of action. So it says God in action, the will of God, being able to have that power. So the we receive the power of God in our hand in order to do the will of God, to take action, to do things that we need to do. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
Can you remind us what the ascension is?
The ascension is, I know we have Jesus that demonstrated the ascension in the Bible. There's the physical ascension that he made and he got taken up into the cloud. Um, there's the ascension that we make, spiritual ascension that we make, where our soul unites with our Christ, our holy Christ self, which is the middle figure in our I am presence chart, right? So that is part of the ascension. I have heard and I have learned that people can make physical ascension, or people can ascend from the inner planes, right? Um, which could be after they've passed on from the screen of light. So
And that's the goal, is to go back to God permanently in that ascension.
that's correct. When I was a kid, um, I've always had this idea or thought that we all came from one singular source of light as humans, and in the end, we will all return back to that light. And I think that in thinking about it now as an adult, I see the sense in that because part of our ascension is returning back to God. And in doing that, we are actually returning back to our first estate, the way we were before we came into embodiment. Yeah.
It's something to work for. So you're saying these decrees can help us balance karma and well get more light so we can help ourselves on the path to the ascension.
Yeah, these decrees are essential for us as part of our journey back home, in the sense that, especially given a lot of the violet flame helps to transmute a lot of the karma that we need to balance as part of repaying our debts to God for all the misqualified energies or things that we have done in many embodiments. So, given the decrees and given the violet flame decrees and a lot of the decrees that we have, and even the heart, head, and hand decree, which covers every single chakra, because most of the misqualified energies that we are responsible for are done through the seven chakras to some extent. So balancing our debts to life and our karma, by giving these decrees and the heart, head, and hand is one way to do that, to allow us to reach a certain percentage of balanced karma that we can then be able to make our ascension on the return back to God. Like Jesus said in the holy book, says every jot and tittle of the law has to be balanced. So we have to balance every error that we've made, either enough to make our ascension and then do the rest at the inner levels.
That's wonderful. Anything else that you think we should know?
I think that um, giving this heart, head, and hand decrease is it's a basic start. It is a start on the journey, and it's important to take the first step. And this I can consider as a first step, because in a way you are essentially bringing the light into every single chakra in the body and trying to help balance not just the threefold flame in the heart, but also trying to start through these decrees, clearing all the debris and all the misqualified energies that are layered in each of their chakras. So I think this is a good place for people to start. One can start slowly and then build up a momentum on these decrees to help them on the journey.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Actually, I want to share, I think they've said decrees only work if you're in a getting yourself into a divine life, meaning if you're going to lie, cheat, and steal, you can turn your whole life around and still make your ascension no matter what you've done, but you might have to do work, you'll have to balance that karma. But for the decrees to work, you have to leave off that lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. I mean, one cannot just do decrees and expect that they're gonna, immediately ascend or win their ascension, right? And I think that's important for people to keep in mind. The decrees is not the only uh, not the only thing that you do to win your ascension. There's also the work aspect of it. There's the work that needs to be done. There is obviously the changing of the mentality or the personality of the person is changing their behavior, so to speak. So when we transmute our karma, at least to my understanding, when we transmute our karma with the violet flame, we are probably transmuting those karma that we may not be able to have the opportunity to work out in person, right? But there's still some karma that we need to be able to work out in person, and we need to also stop making more karma. Like Jesus would say when he heals the sick, he said, "Go, your sins are forgiven. Go and sin no more." Right. So we when we transmute our negative karma, we we try not to make more. Oh, yeah.
And I think the decrees help us become stronger because, a lot of us have momentums we might want to give up, and the decrees themselves help us in getting stronger to give up these old momentums.
That's yes, we also give the decrees in order to help us with the habits, the bad habits, the that we formed over the years or over embodiments or over lifetime. So the decrees will also help to do that, as part of transmuting and helping us overcome those habits as well. Yeah. So decrees are pretty they're 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 very essential for the path, but it's not the only tool for the path to ascension. Yeah.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time, Pamela. Have a great day.
You too. God bless you.
God bless you.